There are places in this world that seem written in the language of longing, not to be conquered, nor simply admired, but to be remembered, as if they were dreams you once had before you were born. The Philippines is one such place. Here, the wind carries secrets across 1,000 islands, each shaped not only by time or tide, but by laughter echoing in market alleys, by lullabies whispered on woven hammocks, by storms that gather and vanish like fleeting memories. Light touches the land gently, as if in reverence. Mornings begin with a hush of fog in the highlands, while sunsets bleed into the sea with colors that feel stolen from a painter's last masterpiece. Roosters call from rusted rooftops, tricycles rumble down coastal roads, and somewhere always, a child is dancing in the rain, barefoot and wide-eyed, like the land itself is music. This is not merely a destination. This is a place where beauty doesn't shout. It waits, it watches, and when you're quiet enough, it lets you in. Welcome to the Philippines, where the land does not just offer itself to you. It welcomes you with soul. From the peaks of Luzon to the powdery shores of Mindanao, you'll find no single thread that defines this archipelago. Instead, it is a woven tapestry of contrasts and harmonies. Volcanoes that still breathe, mountains draped in rice terraces like ancient stairways to the sky, cities pulsing with neon promise beside rivers that remember older ways. To travel here is to learn humility, to understand that the truest beauty often lives in places untouched by maps, carried in the smiles of strangers who call you friend before asking your name. In the Cordillera Mountains, stories are carved in terraces, rice fields sculpted by hand, and hope over 2,000 years. There, the Ifugao people speak to the earth with tools fashioned from tradition, and harvest time not by machines, but by moonlight and song. In these lands, history doesn't sleep. It lingers in stone churches worn smooth by the prayers of generations, in wartime tunnels that once shielded the brave, in the rhythm of bamboo dances once forbidden, now flourishing again in pride. There's a silence here, not of emptiness, but of presence. You'll feel it on a bank of boats slicing through emerald waters, in the lull of siesta hours when even time seems to rest, in the eyes of elders whose stories drift like incense from their mouths. To come here is to notice, to slow your step and let the breeze find you. And when it does, it may carry scents of calamansi, or grilled fish sizzling under palm thatch roofs, or just the salt of the sea, a reminder that you are surrounded by it always. But beyond the land's natural poetry lies its true miracle, its people. Hospitality here is not a performance. It is a way of being. To be welcomed into a Filipino home is to be fed, seen, listened to, and somehow made family. You may be offered mangoes, sliced like golden stars, or sinigang, steaming and sour with tamarind, served with laughter as the television hums quietly in the background. And you'll hear it again and again, Kain Teo, let's eat, let's share, let's be together. In the provinces, you'll learn that kindness often speaks louder than language. In the cities, that resilience can shine even through concrete and traffic. And across every island, you'll witness joy that knows how to survive even the hardest of days. There's a word in Tagalog by Anahan. It describes the spirit of communal unity, of coming together to help, to carry burdens, sometimes literally. It is more than culture. It is character. And it is why, in the wake of typhoons or trials, the Filipino people rise, singing, sweeping, starting again, with faith, with color, with grace. As a traveler, You are a guest in this house of islands. Walk lightly. Speak gently. Let your presence be as respectful as a bow, as open as a cup ready to be filled with stories. Honor the silence of the forests, the sacredness of old stones, the fragility of coral reefs gasping beneath warming seas. Travel not as if to collect, but to contribute, not to take photographs, but to make memories that remember the people in them. And always, always greet with a smile. It is the first door that opens all others here. And should you be lucky enough to hear a karaoke tune echo across a quiet cove, join in, sing even badly, because in the Philippines, celebration is not reserved for perfect voices, but for brave ones. Before you move forward, take this moment. Let it settle on you like the coastal mist, soft, invisible, unforgettable. Feel the rhythm beneath your feet, the sun on your back, the island breeze kissing your face like a long-lost friend saying, "Welcome home. You are the traveler now, and this is where your journey begins." Up in the highlands where the air turns crisp and the clouds come low enough to touch, Baguio waits, quietly veiled in pine and memory. The city breathes through pine needles and coffee steam, where early morning mist threads through narrow roads and the wind smells of damp earth and wood smoke. There's a stillness here, even amid motion, a feeling that time has loosened its grip, allowing things to slow, settle, soften. Locals call it the summer capital, but for those who stay through the off-season rains, Baguio becomes something else, gentler, introspective, a city that curls into itself like a book read by candlelight. Wright Park's horses still walk their circuits. Strawberry fields beyond the hills blush and rose. And down Session Road, Pan de Sal warms between paper napkins in corner bakeries that feel unchanged by decades. But beneath the serene surface, a story often untold flickers. In 1990, an earthquake struck with sudden fury. In just under a minute, Baguio streets buckled, buildings collapsed, and silence swept in. Yet from the ruins, the community rose, resilient and reverent. Students cleared debris with their hands. Nurses turned gardens into clinics. Songs returned to the parks before power did. Today, if you look closely, you'll see this quiet strength etched into the walls, whispered in evening markets, reflected in the eyes of those who endured and endured again. Travel here with care. The altitude may ask for slower breaths. So will the pace of life. This is a city that does not rush and does not want you to. Layers are worn not just for the chill, but for comfort, modesty, grace. Accept the cold with a smile. It's part of the welcome. And when you stand at mind's view, above the rustle of green valleys, with wind on your face and silence below, let yourself fall into it. Let yourself belong to the stillness. Let the mountains tell you stories only the wind has heard. Vigan greets you not with a shout, but with a soft echo of horse hooves on cobblestone. A city suspended between centuries, gently holding on to its past. Here, the walls are made of coral and adobe, their surfaces weathered by salt wind and time. Kapai's shell windows catch the morning light like memory catching breath. Calle Crisologo stretches ahead, narrow and dignified, a stone artery pulsing with the stillness of stories left intact. You don't walk through Vigan. You drift through it, as if slipping into a sepia photograph, where the air smells of wood polish and fresh empanada. But this preservation is not simply for show. In the 18th century, Chinese merchants and Spanish friars negotiated lives in parallel, sometimes in tension, sometimes in tandem. The resulting architecture became a quiet conversation in wood and stone, East meeting West in harmony, not just a style, but survival. The greatest story, however, may be that Vigan exists at all. In World War II, as retreating forces moved to destroy the city, a plea from a local priest to a Japanese officer changed history. The bombs were never dropped. What you walk through now is a city spared, not by chance, but by a moment of mercy. Respect runs deep here. Speak gently. Step lightly. Don't touch the walls. They remember too much. Taste the longanisa, garlicky, proud. Listen to the weaving looms, still at work in tucked-away courtyards. And when the lamps flicker on at dusk and shadows stretch across the stones, you may hear something not spoken aloud, a presence, a hush, as if the city is remembering itself with you in it. Off the coast of Pangasinan, where the sea breeze and slow turquoise waves, the 100 islands rise, green crowns scatter across the Iligan Gulf, like ancient secrets surfacing from a quiet ocean. They are not loud islands. They do not boast. They sit unhurried and sure, as if they've always known you were coming. Each one is different. Some with soft, sandy shores, others draped in limestone and silence. Together, they form an archipelago of possibility. From above, they seem like stepping stones between the present and something forgotten. At low tide, sandbars stretch like golden sighs. At sunrise, light slants through mangroves and makes the ocean shimmer like glass. And beneath it all, hidden in coral caves and fish-flecked currents, life continues tender and fierce. But among these floating jewels, there is one island few speak of, Governor's Island, where a narrow ridge leads you up to a viewpoint. From there, the world rearranges itself. Sea, sky, stillness, and you at the center of something vast and breathing. During the Japanese occupation of World War II, these islands had more than beauty. They held guerrilla fighters, desperate hopes, scattered radio signals in the dark. Local fishermen rowed supplies through nightfall. The sea, once again, became refuge. And so today, when you sail among these islands, know you are drifting through more than scenery. You are moving through memory. Come gently. Sunscreen, yes, but reef safe. No plastics. No noise. Just the soft churn of an outrigger boat and the sound of your thoughts becoming quieter. Let the islands teach you about stillness, about how not everything needs to be filled or fixed. Some places are sacred because they ask nothing, only that you see. And in seeing, perhaps, remember how to simply be. Batangas lives between fire and sea. The land rises from volcanic soil, warm of memory, and spills into coastlines where outrigger boats rock gently against painted docks. There's a rawness here, not of chaos, but of something elemental, alive, smoldering beneath the calm. You'll feel it in the way the wind shifts at dusk, in the way tall volcano smokes faintly in the distance, an eye that never quite closes, in the scent of Kapeng Barako, strong and bitter, cooling beside banana leaf meals. Batangas is not just a destination, it's a pulse. Fishermen still cast nets before dawn, their songs barely louder than the tide. At markets, tamarind and tilapia change hands in quiet ritual. And in the small town of Tal, heritage homes stand with wooden bravado, each one a keeper of stories, earthquakes, and whispered names. Long ago, when Tal volcano erupted in 1754, it wasn't only fire that poured out. Lava swallowed entire villages, reshaped the lake, redrew the maps. But from the ash, communities moved, rebuilt, returned. Faith held stronger than fear. And today, in that same region, locals still farm, still fish, still pray, not because they forget the danger, but because they've learned to live beside it. To visit Batangas is to understand resilience wrapped in ritual. Respect the land. Tread lightly on its black sand beaches. Don't chase the volcano. Observe it like one would a wise elder, from a respectful distance and with reverence. And if you stay long enough, past the day trippers and dust traffic, you might just hear the night breathing, waves lapping gently, the earth below warm and waiting, and something within you finally settling into silence. Manila doesn't whisper. It hums, pulses, collides, an orchestra of chaos and grace moving to a rhythm only the city understands. Here, glass towers rise beside crumbling colonial facades. Jeepneys blaze past cathedrals older than most countries. And beneath tangled power lines, life never stops. It spills, it dances, it survives. This is not a place you ease into. You are thrown into it, heart first. In Intramuros, the old walled city, cobblestones remember Spanish boots, and churches remember both conquest and comfort. Here, you can still trace the outlines of a nation being born, in blood, in revolution, in whispered prayers. Walk Fort Santiago's stone paths and feel the echo of footsteps long silenced. Jose Rizal walked there too, bound in chains and poetry, his final words etched into the bones of the Philippines. Yet beyond the monuments, Manila is not frozen in memory. It is wildly, unashamedly alive. Children play basketball on street corners that flood with every storm. Vendors fan smoke over sizzling skewers, offering pork, chicken, and mystery. Old men sing Sinatra at twilight in cracked karaoke tones that could break your heart. And there's kindness here, fierce, immediate, and often unexpected. In 1945, Manila was flattened, turned to rubble in just a few weeks. More lives lost than in Hiroshima. But no one tells that story enough, because the real story is what came after. The rebuilding, the laughter returning, the color returning. Come here not expecting ease. Expect truth. Expect contradictions. Let the noise soften you. Let the grit teach you how to see. Respect goes far. Panopio softens speech into courtesy. Ask permission. Accept the heat. And don't photograph strangers without connection. This city is not a zoo of poverty, but a cathedral of courage. Manila doesn't ask you to love it, but if you listen long enough, you might. Puerto Galera appears like a secret the sea was almost too careful to keep. Nestled where Mindoro's mountains meet the ocean, it cradles coves so blue they seem unreal. A palette of aquamarine, jade, and indigo shifting with every passing cloud. Beneath the surface, coral gardens sway, and clownfish dart through fan-like anemones. Each wave a whisper of worlds unseen. Once a quiet trading post during the Spanish galleon days, its harbor was refuge, not just for ships, but for those seeking silence between journeys. Today, it still holds that spirit, especially in the hidden alcoves far from the beach bars and weekend noise. If you rise early, before the boats start to hum, you can watch fishermen in dugouts gliding like brushstrokes across the bay. They drop nets not just for catch, but for rhythm. It's their song with the sea. Snorkel gently here. Coral is fragile, and remembering its strength. Locals will guide you. Follow their lead. Respect the tides. Be cautious with plastic. The ocean forgets nothing. And in Sabang's narrow alleys, beyond the dive shops and laughter, Someone is always offering directions, a story, or a smile. That is the spirit here, unpolished but true. As dusk falls and the sun slips behind Mindoro's peaks, the sea turns molten and silence settles like a hymn. Let that stillness find you. You are not lost. You are exactly where the water wants you to be. Cebu City is a pulse, ancient and modern beating in the same breath. Here, glass towers stretch into skies once watched by Spanish galleons, and sing-along drums echo off the walls of shopping malls, reminding even the hurried that time in the Philippines moves not forward, but in spirals, returning, remembering, reliving. Magellan landed here, yes, planting a cross, igniting a legacy of faith and fire. But long before that, there were traders from China, Borneo, and beyond, who mapped these islands with barter and belief. Cebu was always a crossroads, and it carries that tension in its bones. The Basilica remains a sanctuary in the city's roar. Candles lit, prayers rising like smoke. If you listen, you might hear Visayan hymns tucked beneath the sound of jeepneys and city chatter. That contrast is Cebu, sacred beside ordinary, old beside neon. Outside the bustle, in hillside barangays, life slows, laundry flutters like prayer flags, chickens wander roads with unearned confidence, and neighbors wave like you've always been there. Speak a little Bisaya if you can. Mayon Buntag, good morning. It opens hearts quickly. Don't judge the city by its traffic. Beneath the noise are hands still weaving, voices still singing. Cebu doesn't need to convince you. It just waits for you to see it fully. And when you do, it becomes more than a stopover. It becomes a memory with roots. Moalboal whispers in shades of blue, deep, endless, and somehow alive. Nestled on Cebu's southwestern coast, this fishing village has become a sanctuary for those who seek more than just sun and sand. Here, the sea is a living storybook, pages written in coral reefs and swirling sardine runs that shimmer like liquid silver. Early mornings find fishermen pushing their boats through soft, salty waves, nets in hand, eyes scanning horizons where sky and water blur. The village wakes slowly, but beneath the calm surface, life pulses fiercely. Diving here is a ritual, a communion with a world that exists beyond words. The sardine run is legend, millions of tiny fish moving as one, a shimmering cloud that dances with the light and currents. It is a spectacle both fragile and fierce, reminding you how small you are and how vast the ocean's breadth. Moalboal's reefs tell their own tales, scarred by climate change but still vibrant with life, an ongoing story of survival and hope. Locals guard these waters carefully, understanding that their future depends on balance. A lesser-known tale is of the village's quiet resistance during the Second World War, when local fishermen ferried guerrillas under cover of night, the sea becoming a silent ally in a dangerous fight. As a traveler here, tread lightly, respect the reefs, avoid single-use plastics, and seek to learn from the people who call this place home. They will offer smiles, stories, and an invitation to slow down. When evening falls, watch the sky burn gold and purple over Pangasinan Beach. Listen to the lullaby waves and feel the quiet pulse of a village alive in the rhythm of sea and time. Bohol feels like a dream caught between river and rainforest, where the earth folds into hills like whispered secrets and the air hums with ancient songs. This island holds a tapestry of wonders: lush mangroves that cradle slow-moving waters, the limestone spires of the chocolate hills rising like quiet sentinels, and rivers threading through canopies where tarsiers cling with eyes wide and wise beyond words. Travelers often rush past, eager for the famous sights, but the true magic lingers in places unseen. The winding Lobok River where boatmen sing beneath banyan trees, the hidden waterfalls that spill like silk into cool pools, the villages where traditions breathe in the rhythm of daily life. Long ago, Bohol was home to a forgotten battle. The Blood Compact, a pact sealed in blood and trust between Spanish explorer Miguel Lopez de Legazpi and Dadu Sikatuna, a native chieftain. This rare moment of respect amidst conquest echoes still in Bohol's spirit. A reminder that history is never just about war, but about the fragile threads of understanding woven between strangers. When you wander here, move with patience. Respect the Tarshia's silence. Tiny eyes that hold the weight of night. Speak softly in markets where laughter is currency. And taste the kinalaw. Fresh fish cured in vinegar, the sharpness tempered by kindness. In Bohol, the land teaches humility. It reminds you that beauty is layered, both wild and gentle, fierce and forgiving. As the sun dips behind hills, painting sky and earth in molten gold, breathe it in. Let yourself be held by a place that carries both history and hope in its quiet heart. The chocolate hills rise from the earth like the whispered dreams of a giant long asleep. More than 1,000 perfect mounds, draped in green during the rains, then turned to tawny brown by the sun. A landscape both surreal and soothing, as if nature itself sculpted a quiet secret for only those willing to pause and see. These hills are not merely geological oddities. They are legends given shape. One tale tells a giant named Orogo, whose tears of sorrow spilled over the land, creating the hills as a reminder of love lost. Another speaks of warriors who threw handfuls of earth during a great battle, leaving behind these silent monuments. But beyond myth lies a deep connection to the people who live here, farmers whose hands have tended these slopes for generations, planting rice and corn, coaxing life from soil shaped by time and tears. Visit with humility. The hills may seem unchanging, but they are alive, home to butterflies, birds, and insects that flit among grasses and flowers. Respect the paths and avoid stepping on fragile soil. The viewing decks offer a chance to breathe in the vastness. The hills rolling into horizon, shadows playing beneath clouds. At sunset, the landscape softens and the hills turn a deeper chocolate hue, as if holding the warmth of the day like a secret embrace. In this place, you learn that beauty can be quiet. It can be simple. It can be 1,000 small hills waiting patiently for your gaze. Kawasan Falls tumbles like a silver ribbon unraveling from the heart of the jungle. The water is impossibly clear, jade and turquoise swirling into pools that invite weary travelers to pause and surrender to coolness. Mist hangs soft around limestone cliffs, kissed by ferns and orchids that lean in like curious watchers. The sound here is constant and kind, a rushing in that cleanses both body and spirit. You can feel the centuries in stones, smoothed by water's patient hand, shaped by rains and time. Hidden in the surrounding forest are stories whispered by guides who know the falls not just as a site, but as a sanctuary. In the 19th century, local legend spoke of the Wada, forest spirits said protect the falls and the people who honored the land. Villagers still leave small offerings, woven basket of rice, flowers, tokens of gratitude to maintain balance between human and nature. Visiting Kawasan is a lesson in respect. Wear sturdy shoes, rocks are slippery, and the journey is as much about care as awe. Take only memories, leave only footprints. Avoid plastic waste, especially near the water. When you stand beneath the tallest cascade, feel the spray kiss your skin, a reminder that nature is both gentle and powerful. Close your eyes, let the roar of the falls wash over you, and listen to the quiet beneath it all. Here, you discover a rhythm older than words, a pulse you might carry with you long after the last drop has fallen. Oslob is where the sea becomes a sanctuary, a quiet stretch of shore where gentle giants glide through turquoise waters, indifferent to the crowds who come to witness them. Whale sharks, the world's largest fish, move with an ancient grace, mouths open like silent gates of mysteries beneath the surface. They have no teeth, no threat, only a slow rhythm that invites awe and humility. Locals have long coexisted with these creatures, guardians of an unspoken pact. Fishing nets avoid their paths, and feeding is controlled. Though the balance is delicate, the community strives to protect this fragile relationship. But beneath the surface beauty lies tension. Tourism here is both blessing and burden, bringing livelihood, yet risking the peace these giants depend on. Conservation efforts ripple through the village, carried in quiet conversations and hopeful plans. To visit Oslob is to walk a line between wonder and responsibility. Swim gently. Do not chase or touch. Let the whale sharks lead the dance. At dawn, when the water is still and the sun paints the sea gold, you may glimpse something timeless, an ancient creature moving through liquid light, unaware of time itself. And perhaps, in that moment, you will understand why some places ask not to be owned, but simply to be witnessed. Ifugao Province rises like a whispered prayer in the mountains, a land carved by hands that listen to the earth. The rice terraces stretch in endless stairways, etched over 2,000 years by ancestors who spoke to the soil with patience and reverence. Each level is a story, each stone a verse in a quiet poem of survival. Mist curls through pine forests, wrapping villages in mystery. Wooden houses perch on stilts, their steep roofs reaching toward the sky like outstretched hands. In the mornings, smoke spirals from cooking fires, blending with the scent of wet earth and growing rice. The Ifugao people guard their heritage fiercely, their rituals and dances, their stories told in carved wood and woven cloth. You might catch a glimpse of the Hudhud chants, ancient epics passed down by voice alone, sung by elders to keep history alive. Long ago, during colonization, this land remained a refuge, its isolation a shield against conquest. But it was not untouched by change. Modernity presses softly here, but tradition holds its ground. Travel here with respect. Ask before photographing. Speak softly in their villages. And learn that the terraces are more than beauty. They are a living legacy, a testament to harmony between humans and nature. Stand quietly on a ridge at sunrise, watching mist drift over the terraces like breath. Feel the way of time and care woven into every stone. In Ifugao, you see not just the land, but the enduring spirit of a people who tend it as if it were sacred. Samar Island stretches wide and wild, a realm of untamed forests and rivers that sing to the sky. Its jungles hold whispers of 1,000 unseen creatures, and trails where sunlight filters like ancient gold through dense leaves. Here, the earth breathes deeply, raw and unbroken by time. In the heart of Samar lies the Camiguin Caves, a labyrinth of shadows and dripping stones, where water carves secrets over millennia. Explorers move slowly, senses heightened by the silence that feels almost holy. Long before roads and cities, Samar was home to tribes who knew the language of the wind and rain. Their stories live on in songs carried by elders and in dances that summon the spirits of the land. The island's history is also marked by hardship. Typhoons have shaped its people, forging resilience like tempered steel. When the winds howl, communities gather, sharing strength and stories in the shelter of bamboo homes. Travel here with humility. Respect local customs and sacred sites. Tread lightly on trails that hold ancient footprints. Plastic and waste should never touch this wild beauty. Samar is a place of endurance. It asks that you listen not just with ears, but with your heart. In its quiet, you may find a reflection of your own strength, hidden beneath the surface, waiting to be known. Leyte holds a weight of history beneath its lush canopy and tranquil shores. The island's forests hum with life, but it is the echoes of war that resonate most deeply here. The turning point in the Pacific where courage met devastation. In 1944, General MacArthur returned, fulfilling a promise to free the Philippines from occupation. The Battle of Leyte Gulf became the largest naval battle in history, its waters stained with sacrifice. Yet beyond conflict, Leyte breeds resilience. Villages rebuild with quiet strength. Festivals bloom in vibrant colors, and the people celebrate life despite scars both seen and unseen. Walk carefully through Tacloban streets, where stories linger like soft shadows. Respect the memories held in the sunken ships and the monuments that stand as guardians of time. Travelers here find a land that does not forget, but also does not hold on too tightly. Leyte invites you to witness both sorrow and renewal, to feel the fragile thread that binds past and future. Stand by the shore at dawn and listen. The waves will speak, not just of battles past, but hope carried forward on the tide. Iligan is a city of waterfalls, where water sings 1,000 songs as it cascades from cliffs and hides in forest shadows. Known as the city of majestic waterfalls, it's a place where nature's voice is loud and unyielding, yet somehow inviting. Maria Cristina Falls roars like thunder, powerful and wild, shaping the lives of those who live nearby. But beyond its beauty lies a quieter story, of communities who lived alongside this force, balancing progress with preservation. Iligan carries the weight of industry, but also the wisdom to honor the land that feeds it. Travel here with respect for both the city's pulse and the rivers that run through it. Take care when exploring. Wet rocks and rushing waters demand humility. Learn the rhythms of the locals, who greet the day with work and worship intertwined. As you stand beside a waterfall's mist, feel the spray cool your skin, and remember, there is power in water, but also grace. Iligan is a lesson in living with the wild, embracing the flow without losing oneself. Surigao del Sur is a land where the ocean meets the jungle in a quiet embrace. The waves here tell stories older than any map, rolling onto shores lined with mangroves and hidden coves. The enchanted river winds through limestone cliffs, its waters so clear they seem to hold the sky itself. Local legend says spirits guard this river, protecting it from harm, and villagers still leave offerings to honor them. In Surigao, the pace slows, days marked by tides, not clocks. Travel gently. Respect the river's silence, the forest's breath. Avoid plastic and noise. Here, nature still speaks clearly. Stand by the water's edge. Listen to the rustle of leaves and the call of distant birds. Feel the pulse of a land that carries both mystery and welcome. Surigao del Sur invites you to remember. Some places are sacred not because they are distant, but because they are deeply known. Camiguin is a quiet jewel, a small island where volcanoes meet the sea in gentle conversation. The air hums with stories of eruptions that reshaped the land and of people who rebuilt with grace. Hidden waterfalls and warm springs invite travelers to slow down, breathe deep, and listen. Local legends speak of spirits living in the mountains and rivers, guardians of a land both fragile and fierce. Here, you learn the art of patience, respect the healing power of nature and the traditions woven into every path. Walk lightly. Let the island's calm wash over you like a soft tide. Camiguin is not a place to conquer, but a place to belong to, even if only for a moment. Davao pulses with life beneath Mount Apo's watchful gaze, where city and jungle meet in quiet harmony. Banana plantations stretch wide, but so do pockets of wilderness where the Philippine eagle soars. Here, strength and gentleness coexist, resilience born of both earth and spirit. Travelers find markets fragrant with durian and mango, and streets alive with warmth. Respect the balance here. Honor the sacred mountain. Speak kindly, move softly. Davao teaches that progress need not erase peace. In its heart, you discover a city not defined by noise, but by the quiet courage of its people. Zamboanga, where the sea wears 1,000 shades of blue, stands as a crossroads of cultures and histories. Moorish-influenced architecture whispers tales of trade and tradition, while bustling markets brim with vibrant colors and spices. The city hums with Chavacano, a language born from layers of history. Beyond the streets, pink sand beaches invite quiet moments. Here, resilience and pride flow as deeply as the seas. Travel gently, respect the faiths woven through daily life, and listen to stories carried on ocean breezes. Zamboanga is not just a place. It is a living mosaic, inviting you to see beyond the surface, to the heart beneath. Boracay's white sands shimmer like spilled stardust beneath endless skies. The island pulses with energy, daylight woven with laughter, sunsets painted in fiery hues, and nights alive with music and firelight. But beyond the party and the postcards, Boracay carries a fragile beauty. After years of strain, it has healed, waters clearer, shores cleaner, a promise kept to nature and future travelers. Respect here means slowing down, treading lightly and listening. Walk barefoot on powder-soft sand, breathe the salt air, and watch fishermen cast their nets at dawn. In Boracay, joy and care dance together, reminding us that paradise is not just found, but preserved. Siargao moves with the rhythm of the ocean, wild, free, and unhurried. Palm-fringed shores cradle surfers chasing endless waves, while hidden lagoons whisper secret to the island's softer side. Here, nature reigns. Mangroves breathe life into calm waters, and skies stretch wide and unbroken. The island holds a spirit both youthful and ancient. A story less told is how local communities guard this paradise fiercely, balancing growth with preservation. Travel with respect, leave no trace, speak gently, and embrace the slower pace. In Siargao, you are invited not just to ride the waves, but to become part of the tide itself. Palawan unfolds like a whispered secret, an island where jungle meets sea in seamless embrace. Limestone cliffs rise abruptly from turquoise waters, hiding lagoons that shimmer with untouched light. The air is thick with salt and green, alive with the calls of birds and the soft rustle of leaves. Palawan is a refuge for both wildlife and wanderers, a place where time slows and the world feels vast yet intimate. The indigenous communities here hold deep knowledge, guardians of land and story. Travelers must tread lightly, respect sacred sites, honor traditions, and leave only footprints. In Palawan, every corner holds a quiet invitation to listen, to wonder, and to belong. El Nido is a mosaic of towering limestone cliffs and hidden lagoons, where water shimmers in shades of jade and sapphire. This place feels untouched, yet alive with stories whispered by fishermen and carved into coral reefs beneath the waves. Morning light filters through palms, casting patterns on white sand beaches that seem to glow from within. The island pulses with quiet energy. Boats glide across calm waters, and the scent of salt and tropical blooms fills the air. El Nido's people live intertwined with this beauty, preserving traditions even as visitors arrive in growing numbers. Travel gently, respect fragile ecosystems, honor local customs, and move with gratitude. Here, nature and culture meet in a delicate dance, inviting you to slow down and listen. Coron is a sanctuary of limestone cliffs and crystal-clear waters where history sleeps beneath the sea. Sunken warships lie silent, transformed into vibrant reefs teeming with life, a poignant reminder of conflict turned to beauty. Mornings here break with golden light spilling over jagged peaks and gentle lagoons. Local fishermen navigate these waters with a quiet reverence, guardians of a fragile underwater world. Travel here with care, respect the reefs, tread lightly, and honor the stories beneath the waves. In Coron, past and present intertwine beneath shimmering surfaces, inviting you to explore not just the land, but the depths of memory itself. Mayon Volcano stands as a perfect cone, a silent sentinel rising from the earth with majestic grace. Its slopes shimmer with greenery, veiled sometimes in mist, sometimes glowing beneath the fierce sun. For centuries, Mayon has shaped lives with both beauty and fury, eruptions that have both nourished and challenged the people who call its shadow home. Locals honor the volcano with festivals and prayers, a deep respect born from understanding its power. Travel here with humility. Stay alert to nature's moods, and always heed local guidance. At dawn, watch the volcano silhouette soften in golden light, a reminder that nature's strength carries both creation and destruction. Mayon teaches that beauty and danger are often inseparable, and that reverence is the truest form of belonging. Tablas Island unfolds like a hidden page in the story of the Philippines. Untouched beaches, dense forests, and quiet villages that move at the rhythm of nature's own heart. Here, time feels slower, wrapped in the scent of salt and earth. The island's reefs guard a kaleidoscope of marine life, while its mountains hold trails rarely walked, inviting exploration without crowds. Locals live in close harmony with their surroundings, their traditions woven into daily life like threads in a tapestry. Visitors come seeking solitude and discovery, and Tablas offers both with gentle generosity. Travelers should tread softly, respect the land, avoid plastic, and listen to the stories shared around firelight. In Tablas, the world feels wide and still, a place to breathe deeply and remember what it means to belong to the earth. Cambugahay Falls is a cascade of turquoise dreams hidden deep in the jungle. Water tumbles over smooth rocks, pooling into crystal-clear basins that invite quiet reflection. Surrounded by verdant trees and soft moss, the falls sing a song of renewal and peace. Locals believe the waters hold healing powers, a sacred gift from the spirits of the forest. Visitors arrive seeking respite, diving into cool pools that wash away both dust and worry. Travel here with respect. Leave no trace, swim gently, and honor the land's quiet magic. As sunlight filters through the canopy, the falls glow like a secret kept safe by time. Cambugahay invites you to slow down, breathe deeply, and let nature's rhythm soothe your soul. The Caramoan Islands stretch like scattered emeralds across the shimmering sea, hidden coves and limestone cliffs waiting quietly beyond the horizon. These islands hold a timelessness, a sacredness born from isolation and the patient work of wind and water. Fishermen navigate narrow channels with practiced ease, their boats gliding over coral gardens teeming with life. The islands have seen history's tides, from ancient trade routes to recent fame as a backdrop for survival shows. But beneath the surface, a quieter story lives, one of balance, where nature's rhythms guide the lives of those who call Caramoan home. Travel gently, protect the reefs, honor local traditions. Here, the sea whispers secrets to those willing to listen. Mount Pinatubo is a mountain reborn, a place where destruction and renewal dance in the same breath. The 1991 eruption reshaped landscapes and lives, burying villages beneath ash and mud, yet giving rise to a new beauty forged in fire. Today, its crater lake glows with an almost otherworldly turquoise, surrounded by jagged cliffs and silent witness to nature's power. Local communities hold deep respect for the mountain spirit, sharing stories of ancestors who once lived on its slopes. The trek to the crater is both challenge and meditation, a journey through volcanic plains, riverbeds, and stark, rugged beauty. Travel here with humility and care. Follow guides, respect the environment, and listen to the whispers of the land. Mount Pinatubo teaches that from devastation, life finds a way, resilience etched in every stone and ripple. The journey to the Philippines comes to a gentle close, a tapestry of islands, stories, and whispers woven into the soul. From mountains carved by ancient hands to oceans that hold secrets older than memory, each place carries its own rhythm, its own song. We have traveled through fire and water, silence and celebration, history and hope. And now, as the sun sets over these countless shores, the invitation remains. You are the traveler now. Carry with you the quiet strength of resilience, the humility of the sea's endless patience, and the wonder found in places both wild and tender. May the spirit of this archipelago linger in your heart, a reminder that every journey changes us, and every story waits to be told. Until we meet again, walk softly, travel honestly, and listen deeply.